You ever watch a movie and feel it's not really about what's on the surface? That's how Sinners hits me. Yes, I know it's about vampires, but the real message, the monsters, are real. They walk among us, and they do not drink blood. They drain culture, history, and truth. Ryan Coogler made Sinners with this intention. The vampires in this film somewhat look like everyday people, influential people, people with power. Because they are, these vampires represent those who take from the black culture, profit on it, then rewrite history to make themselves the creators. What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one. And in this video, I will explore the real-life vampires that walk among us, just like Ryan Coogler was trying to spell out in the movie Sinners. And if you're into videos like this, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. 500 is the like goal, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let's do this. The vampire metaphor. Let's talk about one of these real-life vampires, Fat Joe, a major figure in hip-hop, Latino pride, Bronx born. But one day, he hops on the mic and he says this.
The history of how it
Latinos and blacks created hip-hop. If you go to Wild Style, the first hip-hop movie, you will see the Cold Crush Brothers. Their DJ was Charley Chase, Puerto Rican. And you'll go to the battle that they had with Romantic, which was the first Puerto Rican MC. Ruby D was in there with the Fantastic Romantic. You cannot eliminate the Latinos' contribution to hip-hop. When you talk about breakdancing, we talk about Rocksteady and Crazy Legs. When you talk about graffiti, like, it's every element of hip-hop. It was 50-50, bro.
Let's stop right there. This is not only inaccurate, it's dangerous because it distorts history. It's the same tactics vampires used in Sinners: blend in, take over, rewrite the past. The true history of hip-hop music. Hip-hop was born out of pain, in poverty, in resistance. The South Bronx, early in the 1970s, a community left to rot by New York politicians. Fires ravaged the entire blocks, jobs disappeared, schools were underfunded, but black kids, mostly African American, like DJ Kool Herc, turned that pain into power. DJ Kool Herc threw the first hip-hop party in 1973. Grandmaster Flash revolutionized DJing. Africa Bambaataa gave it structure. These were black men. These were black men born from the unique African-American struggle. This culture came from us. Now, were there Puerto Ricans there? Absolutely. They were our neighbors. And a lot of people who don't know this, who haven't grown up in New York City, don't truly experience. But I did. They were our neighbors. They were friends. They were part of our environment. And some adopted the early b-boy lifestyle. Some grabbed microphones, but they did not invent hip-hop. They participated in it. And that is a key distinction. See, blacks and Puerto Rican people have lived side by side for decades in New York City, especially in places like the Bronx, Harlem, and Brooklyn. We shared music, food, and we also explored each other's languages and slangs. And we gravitated towards each other because we were both being treated like second-class citizens. But over time, Puerto Ricans and other Latino groups gained proximity to whiteness. They got access to jobs, schools, housings faster than black people. And many of them used that access to distance themselves from the black community that they grew up in. And as Ryan Coogler showed us in Sinners, this isn't new to us. The Irish once worked beside enslaved black people in the South. They were poor, discriminated against, but eventually they became white in America's eyes. And when that door opened, they shut it behind them. That's the true vampire bite. Take what you need, then turn your back. Puerto Rico's slave history. Puerto Ricans aren't just Spanish and Taino. African blood runs deep on that island. Enslaved Africans were brought to Puerto Rico to work the sugar plantations under brutal Spanish rule. Afro-Puerto Ricans exist, and many embrace their blackness. But culturally, there has been a long struggle with the Latino community about anti-blackness, about denying or minimizing African roots. And when people with African ancestry start erasing Black American contributions to things like hip-hop, that's internalized racism. That's mimicry of white supremacy. That is true vampire behavior. Cultural theft is an ongoing pattern. And why we have to be concerned about this is because this has happened before. Blues, jazz, rock and roll, stolen from Black artists and given to white faces. Elvis became the king of rock, while Chuck Berry and Little Richard were just buried in history. It also happened in country music. It started in Black communities in the South, but now it's coded white. That's what happens when lies get told over and over. The truth disappears. That's how vampires win. If Fat Joe's lie gets repeated enough, your kids might think Puerto Ricans invented hip-hop, and Black creators will once again be pushed to the sidelines, and we will not allow that to happen.
When enough people make false promises, words stop meaning anything. Then there are no more answers, only better and better lies. And lies won't help us in this fight.
Why this truly matters. This is bigger than music. If we let lies like this grow, they become the new truth. And that's exactly what Ryan shows us in Sinners. The real monsters don't hide in the shadows. They change the story. They smile in your face while stealing your past. Puerto Ricans have every right to be proud of their contributions, but contribution is not creation, and no one gets to rewrite history to make themselves more important than they actually are. Ryan made Sinners to wake people up. These vampires aren't myths, they're metaphors, and the only way to beat them, sunlight, exposure, and truth. Don't let them rewrite our story. Speak it, protect it, teach it. But this is not the only way Ryan tried to show us what vampires do in this real world. Another way Ryan's film Sinners isn't just about vampires, it's about people who sell their souls for power, for money, just for a seat at the table, knowing full well that table was never built for them. It was never built for us. In Sinners, the vampires don't always bite you. Sometimes they buy you. They seduce. They make deals. They offered comfort while draining you dry. And that's what Ryan's showing us. That's what's happening right now in real life. Vampires use money to control. Let me break it down. In Sinners, the vampires don't just feed on blood. They feed on people's weaknesses, on their poverty, on their desperation, their need to feel important. That's how they build power, not through violence, but through manipulation. They offer status, protection, money, but the price is always your soul. And too many people at this particular time are lining up to sell it. Now, I gotta say it, people like Candace Owens are today's vampires, or at least their messengers. She stands up and she says things that the white conservatives can't get away with. She attacks the Black community for them. In return, she gets the platform, the money, and the power. She talks about personal responsibility while ignoring systematic racism. She criticizes hip-hop culture, but never speaks on the system that created the reasons that hip-hop culture was formed in the first place. Why? Because she's not being paid to talk about those things. She's not speaking truth to power. She's performing for it. Vampires paying people like this off. Nick Fuentes, known white power structure leader, white supremacist, said the quiet things out loud when confronting Jason Whitlock.
And by the way, you are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a Black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid.
So this is something we have all known for a very long time, But people like Candace and Jason Whitlock like to try to hide behind the people who are actually paying them. And we know that the money behind them is not a mystery. Conservative think tanks, far-right donors, political organizations have spent decades attacking black communities. But now they have this brand new strategy. Why look racist when you can pay someone black to say exactly what you wanted to say all along? Selling out is nothing new. And this ain't nothing new to us. All through our history, there have been people who turned on their own for the favor from the powerful. The overseers on the plantation, the gatekeepers who tell us to be quiet and behave. They get rich, they get invited to dinner parties, but what they lose is their soul and their own people's trust. Harriet Tubman famously said, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves." Why it's so dangerous. Here's the real danger. When people like Candace Owens speak, some people listen. Young people, people on the fence, people who don't know the history, and they might start thinking, maybe racism isn't that bad. Maybe we're just lazy. Maybe white supremacy isn't real at all. That's the goal. Confuse us, divide us, make us doubt our own reality. And it works, because when one of our own delivers the message, it hits differently. Just like in Sinners, the vampires don't always kill you. Sometimes they turn you, and then you do the work for them. Stop letting them use us against us. We need to stop pretending that being black means someone can't be used against black people. Skinfolk ain't always kinfolk. These interest groups found a cheat code: hire a black voice and deliver their anti-black message wrapped in poison packaging that is familiar to Native Americans and anybody else who crossed them in the past. It's manipulations, it's exploitation, and it's working because too many people are afraid to call it what it is. Ryan Sinners is a warning. The vampires are real. They use charm, they use power, they get close to us, and they also use money. And once they've turned someone, that person becomes more dangerous than the vampire is itself. Don't get seduced, don't get turned, call it out, name it, expose it, because sunlight kills vampires, and truth is our sunlight. And that's my video. Please thumbs up it if you like it. Put in the comments if you disagree or do agree, and make sure you share this to as many people as you can. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.